It's S-E-X. I don't know how they fucking spell in England, but it's S-E-X, not L-A-X. I don't know what you call it over there.
Well, we've got the poor music going. It's 4 p.m. It's Friday. Unless, of course, you're watching this on demand or you're watching it on YouTube later. Alternatively, if you're listening on iTunes, because we're on iTunes now. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it is the Wil and Dave Show. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Will.
So, we've kind of prepared a little bit more than we did last week. We have a couple of topics to talk about. We're going to talk to Kimy Reikonen. We're going to talk to our good friend Dan White. We're also going to talk about a load of random stuff. Of course, we've got to talk about what happened in that Lotus 49 race last week. Got a couple of random stories as well to talk about. And we might actually talk a little bit about IndyCar as well, Dave. How about that?
Well, I'm just happy to all the people that listened last week who returned this week. God bless every single one of you.
Unless you don't believe in God.
Okay, then Mother Earth bless you.
We might as well start with last week. We got the race official. It's the first Lotus 49 race of the season to go official. We did it. It was at Phillip Island. It was a crazy-ass race.
Yeah, for those of you who might not know about how iRacing works, you have to have at least 8 drivers sign up for a race at any given time for it to count for points and to count for iRating, safety rating, all that good stuff. Up until Friday afternoon, there had not been a single official race, and we called out to all 15 people that were listening to the Wil and Dave Show to sign up for it. And we were able to get 11 drivers in there and get the first official race of the season in the Lotus 49, which some believe is one of the hardest cars to drive. But, Will, in my experience, I found it pretty damn fun.
It was fun. Of course, you're also at a pretty difficult track in Phillip Island because it has so many sweeping corners. So it's
not only that, there was a 16-mile-an-hour wind to deal with.
Well, yeah, we are from the land down under. But the results were you came 5th. Paul, who's not here because he's still pissed off by the fact that it's not the Wil, Dave and Paul show, it's the Wil and Dave show. He came 6th and I came 7th because I suck. However, you got 7 ink points, I got 2 ink points. We were at one point thinking that we were just going to get kicked out because of the fact we were all going to get the 17 ink points by the end of lap 4.
Yeah, the way iRacing has it set up now is if you score 17 incident points during a race, whether you have car contact or lose control or go off track, you accumulate 17 points in any given, point throughout the race, you're automatically booted. So I was quite happy to finish all, 25 laps?
That was probably one of the hardest races I've done. 25 laps. I actually almost had an ink-free race, and then I decided to loop it coming out of turn 3. Okay, someone's talking to me on Facebook. Yeah, great. I decided to loop it in turn 3 with 2 laps left to go, and I was actually trying to push so I'd have a lap within about 15 years of you guys. But overall, it's a pretty good race.
Yeah, well, I thought so. Car is harder to drive than most cars on the iRacing service. But it's very rewarding if you can find a nice groove and be steady and keep her on the tarmac, as you guys like to say, and, bring the car home in one piece.
And we have got to give 10 iRacing dollars away. We're not going to give you real money because we're tight-ass bastards, but we'll give you iRacing credits. And I believe we picked a winner, and that was Justin Woolwine, who came home behind me. So, he gained iRating. I lost iRating, but because the way the stupid iRating system works. But he gained iRating. He gained 4 iRating points, and he gains $10. Fucking awesome.
Not only that, he was the one person who correctly used the hashtag Wil and Dave in the race chat. So that added a couple extra entries to the pot.
Yeah, so we'll talk about what we're going to do this week. We're basically umming and ahhing before we went on air. So Justin Woolwine, congratulations, he's going to win $10. We're not going to give you any money away this week because, again, I'm a tight-ass bastard. So unless someone else wants to give you money, you can go and fuck yourself. But Yeah,
well, that's no way to keep viewership. We need all four of you watching right now. We need them all to stay.
Well, we've got this, of course, on iTunes, and there are some people who's wondering why the heck we'd actually put this on iTunes, but
because it's awesome.
Yeah, well, where people are complaining about the fact that to be able to watch this, listen to this, you're not going to watch it because unless you're actually wanting to look at a picture of a crashed car outside my office for an hour, then you're just going to listen to it. And there's some people that complained about the fact that you're not really going to have the opportunity to listen to it if you can only do it on YouTube. For example, if you were a Sprint customer and you really wanted to watch it, you couldn't because of the simple fact that, you're on a subway or something, or you're a Sprint customer. So we created the RSS feed, and we thought the next logical step, put it on iTunes. We got accepted to iTunes, and now we're on iTunes. So the way that's going to work is we will upload the episodes somewhere between 24 and 48 hours after the actual show itself. Normally I've got weekends free, so I can do it then. We also upload a load of random... Can you turn your fucking speakers down?
Who?
You!
My light's not coming on.
Well, someone is getting feedback, and it's coming through when I'm talking. It's coming through my own mic, and my stereo settings are perfect.
Maybe you just talk too loud.
Oh, we know that. It's a fucking given. So, yeah, we're also going to upload some extra additional shit to iTunes as well. Generally, Dave and I, we sit around and we talk shit. Occasionally, I record it, and we can make that into a 2-3 minute fun segment. Of course, you might have seen the one about us asking for sponsorship, and that very informational video about information, and we also had the one about 16th Street. Now, the important thing on that is, that's all out the window, because it doesn't look as though Young is going to take part in 16th Street.
Now, Will, I know that's wishful thinking because Young-O seems to be unbeatable.
Yang ooh,
which is unbelievable.
Right, well, just carry on talking. I'll play the stuff when I want to play the stuff. Okay?
Come on.
No, talk.
Anyway, he does have another 8 hours to sign up for the 16th Street League, but if he does not do so, then he'll have to run the transfer races, which I'm pretty sure he could win with his hands tied behind his back, driving with the steering wheel in his teeth.
True. But, I mean, let's pretend that Young doesn't run. All of a sudden, you've got a handful of guys who have the opportunity to win that series. And, I mean, yes, Tim Dahl, is the likely guy who's got the advantage, but you've also got the likes of Tim Holgate, who did amazingly last season, but you've got a load of people up and down the field as well who, I said to you last year that it was your breakout season. There are a number of people who are looking to have that breakout season, and what a platform to have it on.
Well, I honestly think if Young-O doesn't sign up, not to give the guy so much credit that, he could just show up and win everything, but I would argue that the season's wide open even if he shows up. I mean, the Banshee guys have really stepped their game up. Their teams won the last 3 Open Series championships on the official series in the IndyCar. So, not to say that he can't be beaten, but the championship's really wide open if he doesn't come in because he's the clear-cut favorite. But without him, almost anybody who's in the top 25 in the points has a realistic shot to win the championship.
Of course, that series will be broadcast. It's a kind of GlacierTV iRacing Brazil collaborative project. The race is going to be streamed through iRacing Brazil, but they're going to have GlacierTV commentary with me, Aaron Likens, Paul Jenkins if he doesn't make the races. If Dave crashes out early, he'll come and commentate with me, which, knowing him, will be 16 races out of 16.
Come on now.
And we'll talk about it every week as well. But let's talk about, this is an IndyCar podcast, essentially. Well, as far as iRacing goes. And the hot topic of contention this week really has been about ink points. And it's interesting because all of a sudden we now have the opportunity through iRacing, if you are a shit driver and you accrue a certain number of ink points, they get rid of you, out of the race. There you are, you're gone. You're disqualified, you come last. Which, in principle, you know, it's what we've been after for ages. Because let's not forget, there were days when there were certain drivers who used to enjoy ramming you from behind in the same way that, you know, certain priests might enjoy ramming little boys from behind. But, yeah, controversial, eh? It's now the opportunity that if you get a certain number of ink points, you're disqualified. Which in an IndyCar, in principle, in itself, is a good thing. But the question is, what's that number going to be? Because, you know, 2 4Xs, in many ways, is enough to damage your car and put you out the race.
Yeah, it's really a hot button topic right now. The standard is 17 incident points through all series, but iRacing has asked each series to see if they want to have a higher number, lower number. In the IndyCar, you know, you shouldn't be wheel banging and door slamming and ramming people's rear wings, because frankly, if you were doing that in the real series, you'd be thrown out after 5 minutes of doing that.
Well, you'd probably be thrown into the fence, let's be honest, because of the way, you know, we've seen it so many times before. And let's not talk about Vegas. Let's talk about all of the other shit before that. How many times do you see cars flipping over when you get tyre-to-tyre contact or wing-to-tyre contact? These are aero cars, for fuck's sake, you know. You have that sort of contact, you remove the air from the front of the car in such a way, you're going up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. So in the iRacing series for the IndyCar, I would think most sane people would argue a lower number of incident points is better, like maybe 9. Could have 2 incidental 4Xs net code, whatever you want to call it, and you could still continue if you race the rest of your race clean. Now, there are some other people out there who appear to just argue for the sake of taking the contrarian point of view, who say that, you know, we need more incident points than 17 because of all this other stuff. Well, I would argue if you're racing that close that you're getting 4Xs all the time, slamming wheels, then you probably shouldn't be racing the IndyCar to begin with.
You know what my opinion on this, and it's simple as that. At the end of the day, this is a series where, you know, you don't do Bristol bump and runs like you'd get in the NASCAR series. And if you have a certain number of ink points, people race more. We've lost 2 viewers talking about IndyCar. People race more respectfully. You know, if you know that if you get, let's say, 9 ink points, you're going to be chucked out of the race, and you get, you know, 2 4Xs. That may or may not be your fault, because, of course, yes, I agree, the iRacing system for incidents is a no-fault system, allegedly. But, you know, you get those, then you are going to drive differently, because you don't want to be thrown out of the race, because the implications it will have on your I rating, for example, and, of course, your safety rating, because if you can't do all the laps, you're going to lose even more safety rating, so on and so forth. So, I think that at the end of the day, if you lower the ink point count, all of a sudden, you get people having to think about what they do on the racetrack, rather than thinking, oh, look at that, there's a 5mm gap coming down into turn number 3, I'm going to have to hit it!
Exactly. It's going to force guys to race a little more carefully, especially if they're coming up on a, you know, incident point total that they don't want to run over. And if anybody out there who's actually listening to the show on either YouTube or Twitter wants to get involved in the conversation, use the hashtag Wil and Dave, WIL, letter N, DAVE. Send us your question or comment, or leave a comment in the YouTube channel, and we would be more than happy to get you involved.
We want to know, by the way.
If anyone mentions Danica, you're done.
Well, thanks, I've got a drink now.
Oh yeah, we have to drink every time we mention Danica!
That was 2 sips.
I actually got a text from Mr. TJ Fisco, who is not an iRacing member, but decided that he's insane enough to actually listen to the show. He wants a shout out, so thank you, sir, for listening.
Yeah, cheers. Let's talk about this iTunes thing, because it's actually pretty funny about what we are and what we're not allowed to talk about. Now we are kind of under the command of Apple. We're not allowed to say certain things. The main one is, of course, we're not allowed to say things like Apple is shit too often. We're not allowed to bring Apple into disrepute. We're also not allowed to overly sexualize our podcasts, which I'm fucked.
No, well, I don't think you would ever run into trouble with the, Apple sucks thing, because don't you own a Mac?
I own a Mac. I own 2 iPads because I'm trying to sell one of them at the moment. I have an iPhone 5S. I've got my iPhone 4S because I've got to sell that as well. I've got my iPhone 3GS, which doubles up as a backup iPod. I've got an iPod Touch, an iPod Classic, an iPod Nano somewhere sitting around somewhere, a 3rd gen iPod, and an original 1st gen iPod. And a MacBook, and I've got a Mac Pro at work as well.
So we got some prizes to give away sometime if the show ever gets big enough.
Yeah, we win an iPod 3rd generation. I tell you what though, seriously, iPod 1st gens, they are worth more money nowadays than you actually when they bought them. I mean, an iPod back then was what, $250 or something? You can sell that on eBay right now and get $500-600. You don't even get that appreciation value on a car, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, as soon as you drive a car off the lot, you're lost half the value anyway.
What, and then you've got to wait like 40 years before you can classify it as historic.
Well, you can classify any car that's like 20 years or older, at least in the state of Ohio, as historic, but that's just to get out of the environmental check.
Yeah. So we've got that. So basically, we're not allowed to say bad things about Apple. I'm actually just trying to scroll down to figure out exactly what it says that I'm allowed or not allowed to do. Basically, the main thing was that we weren't allowed to sexualize our podcast too much, which, let's be honest, I don't get laid anywhere near as much as I should do with my stunningly good looks and my dreadlocks. And you're married, so, you know, you're only sleeping with one woman for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I've done very well for myself.
Look at you trying to make sure your wife doesn't listen to the podcast.
No, it's God honest truth I tell her every day.
Aw, how cute is that? Just give me 1 second, guys. I just need to go and throw up. I have got a couple of stories for you, by the way. And we've got a couple of other people here I'm going to introduce in a bit as well.
Yeah, we got to talk about some NASCAR.
Yeah. Well, we've only got, what, 2 races left in the chase? 2 races left of the season, and once again, Mr. 5-time is right there with 2 races to go. We'll talk about that in a moment. First of all, I want to tell you a story. And this is a story of how I got stabbed in the arse. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know when you go to a shop, you buy clothes, and they've got those security tags to make sure that you're not, trying to steal it or something. Mainly because of the fact that, if you're going to cut out a hole in your jeans, kind of what the security tab is, the police are kind of going to know that either A, you've got a portable glory hole, or B, I'm not allowed to say that, am I? Shit. Or B, you've stolen the clothes. So they've got the security tags. This is in H&M. Now, is H&M the same type of store as Forever 21 is, that they only sell girl shit in America?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Some good I am.
In H&M,
maybe one of our viewers can tell us.
Yeah.
Somebody tweet at us and tell us if that's true.
Well, the issue first of all is, Forever 21 in the UK sells guys' clothes, but apparently they don't sell guy clothes in America. So when I said that I bought these pants from Forever 21, everyone just started the whole metrosexual bullshit. But H&M, again, they have men's sections in the UK. And I bought, some jeans, and I bought myself a couple of tops. And, I'm not going to know whether or not they've taken all the pins out. So I go home, put the jeans on, come and sit down on my lazy boy, which I'm stroking right now because it's as close as I get to affection these days. And I literally get stabbed in the arse by the security pin. Yeah.
Only that would happen to you.
Only happened to me. It's actually the second time I've ever been stabbed in the ass. And the first time, I know there's a couple of people listening thinking, whoa, wait a minute. The first time was when I actually got robbed about 5 years ago, where the guy was so drunk that when I turned around, the only place he could aim for was my ass. So I actually had to show the coppers my bare ass for them to take photographs. So somewhere in a police station, somewhere in a certain city, there are photographs of my bare ass.
Well, don't say too much. We don't want to get censored.
Well, yeah. But I essentially wrote.
We've lost 4 more viewers.
Shit.
Stop talking about your bum and get back to racing.
Stop talking about my bottom, shall I? So essentially, that's what happened. But we'll talk a little bit about NASCAR. We're gonna welcome in our one time, because of the fact that this guy normally works at Walmart on a Friday. Our one time NASCAR correspondent, Mr. Dan White. Hello.
Hi, Dan White.
Hey there, guys. Will, I gotta correct your record, man. I don't work at Walmart. I work myself at the clean energy plant here. I take a lot of pride in what I do. I want to know what I just walked in on. What are you talking about? Getting like poked in the butt? Like, what kind of show is this you guys running here?
It's yeah. So we've got 2 races left.
I'd like to say that
Shut up.
No, I'm talking over you. Will Vincent's opinions do not necessarily reflect mine.
Well, it is the Wil and Dave Show. I thought you kind of like signed on for this.
No, I was forcefully dragged into this.
Hey, when we become famous, I'm quoting that to you when I fucking claim my my money on you. But yeah, Mr. Dan White, let's talk about NASCAR a little bit. We've got what, 2 races left to go in the chase. We're going to Phoenix, and then we're going to Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, Phoenix, in my opinion, has always been a bit of a shit track for NASCAR. But Homestead, I mean, let's think about Tony Stewart back in 2011, possibly the greatest NASCAR race in the last 10 years. 2 very different races to end the season.
Well, let me tell you something. All right, you listening? Let me tell you something right now, because this is really important. Jimmy Johnson and the 48 team are nothing but a bunch of cheaters, and
That's
Texas was absolute proof of that. Did you see the way the tires are failing? And how everyone else, like Jeff Gordon and stuff, just hitting the wall willy-nilly left and right. Now, why didn't that happen to the 48? Why don't you think that happened to the 48, Will Vincent?
Because, go on. Tell me why.
The real reason is that Dale Earnhardt Sr. is the greatest driver who ever lived, and it is sacrilegious to be sitting here talking about Jimmy Johnson winning another championship.
So, okay.
Shouldn't by all rights Harvick be winning the championship since he took over for Earnhardt?
Dave Judson, don't go complicating that issue, because we all know the success of that man was from his own gut and his own drive and his desire. You know it's a fact that had Dale Earnhardt Sr. continued racing, he would have 27 championships sitting here today.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Yeah.
Work?
Well, let's not get all complicated talking about math and stuff here, but you know how NASCAR set up the chase only for Jimmy Johnson to win because they wanted a California boy to come in here and be the face of the sport. NASCAR, had Dale Earnhardt continued racing, would have made 3 separate championships per season for Dale Earnhardt to win, and we all know he would have won every single one of them.
Damn, that sounds like some moonshine talk there. You been hitting the sauce a little early today?
You guys ever see that Moonshiner show on whatever channel that is? That's some good stuff, man.
Yeah, don't talk. If nobody pays us, we're not talking about them.
Yeah. I'm going to go off topic very quickly. Do you remember that time when you bought me moonshine? Dave?
I bought you Jim Beam once.
Oh no, who was it who bought me like that 99% vodka alcohol shit?
I did not buy you vodka.
I could tell you it wasn't me. I wouldn't.
No, someone bought.
Jimmy Johnson
Oh,
fan.
It was Everclear. That was it. Goke bought me a bottle of Everclear.
Was that Mr. John Goke?
Yeah. You know, I actually drank that entire bottle in my stay in India, and I took a bottle home with me. Somehow I got it through customs.
Oh, very nice.
Well, they say, do you have any flammable liquids? And I was like, well, you know, it's not designed to be a flammable liquid, but...
Will, I need to interject in here again. Let me ask you one more thing about Jimmy
Dan,
Johnson.
that's a big word there, Dan.
Well, yeah, it happened, and you got to deal with it. Does Jimmy Johnson have a mustache?
Well,
he has a beard.
Yeah, I mean, he does that chase beard thing, which, of course, in the UK, we have this thing called Movember now, which I've heard is catching on over in the States, but he's got the chase beard. So all you essentially need to do, if you're Matt Kenseth, is go to Jimmy Johnson's trailer on a Sunday morning with a bottle of shaving foam and a razor. Job done. Jimmy Johnson loses the championship.
Now, Will, you didn't answer my question. Does Jimmy Johnson have a mustache?
I don't think so.
You know who had the greatest mustache of all time? Dale Earnhardt Sr. And I'm out, guys.
Well,
there you go, Dan White, folks. He loves them conspiracy theories, doesn't he, Will?
yeah. Well, you got Jimmy Johnson.
Whose idea was it to bring him on here?
Yours. You have.
Wait a minute.
Shut up. You've got Jimmy Johnson 7 points ahead of Matt Kenseth. Harvick's 40 points back. Technically still in the running. You got Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Clint Boyer. I mean, everyone up to Biffle technically is still in the chance of winning the championship. But realistically, we've got a 2-horse race right now. Johnson is good at Homestead. Kenseth, you could argue, is probably in that car going to struggle at Phoenix a bit.
Yeah, but, Kenseth's been kind of breaking all the rules this season with that, Gibbs car and Ratcliffe being the crew chief. He's really excelled at places he's been historically, frankly, terrible at. And, he's won more races than he's ever won in any season. He's been had consistency that he hasn't ever really had before. He could very well go out there and win Phoenix on Sunday.
And the funny thing is, as well, I mean, we had Kyle Busch, the greatest thing to happen to NASCAR ever, according to Joe Gibbs. And then you had Joey Logano. And both of them do pretty shit. Matt Kenseth comes over and pretty much sets Joe Gibbs up for their chance to win their first championship in how many years?
Yeah, probably since Bobby Labonte won back in 2000. And that just goes to show you how, if I'm Joey Logano, I kind of feel crappy. The guy takes over your car and just dominates. But it also goes to show you how bad was the Roush Fenway stuff that Matt Kenseth could, win a couple races every year with that junk and then go to Gibbs and set the world on fire.
Apparently, Stewart 2005, Joe Gibbs.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah.
Not that he's listening. Not that he's listening or anything.
He's fat and his knees hurt.
No, that's a go-kart racer I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But, let's be honest, though. I would have loved to have seen Tony Stewart in the chase, even though he probably wouldn't have made the chase, per se. I go back to that 2011 season. I have to say, A, that was one way of showing that you can be a champion, and B, that Homestead race 2 years ago got to be in at least the top 5 top NASCAR races of the last 10 years.
Well, with everything that was on the line, that's got to be top 10 overall ever. Because basically, whoever finished ahead of the other guy was going to win, and when it all came down to it, it was who was going to win the race, Stewart or Edwards, and whoever won the race was going to win the championship. And you can't really ask for more than that. 2 guys battling for the championship. Whoever wins the final race wins the championship. So in my mind, you got to seat that pretty highly.
And let's not forget as well, didn't he, fuck up his grill or something, 40 laps into the race? Before we go any further, I'm an English guy talking knowledgeably about NASCAR. What the fuck?
That's why you listen to the Wil and Dave Show live on GlacierTV and on iTunes, because you never know what you'll learn.
Yeah.
That's a sound clip.
Yeah. So, let's not forget, Stewart had to come from the field, 3 times in that race? 4 times in that race? And, that shows, there were a lot of people who are against the chase. But I think when you look at Stewart's 2011 campaign, it shows how the chase can be good. The only issue is that, the entire first part of the season sucks. And I think this is the reason why TNT and ESPN have essentially decided to, leave NASCAR. Fox are happy because they get steady ratings for the season, part of the season when they're not doing NFL. But then you get the chase, which is, let's not forget, designed to be a product to go against the NFL, and ESPN gets lumbered with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues there that I'm not smart enough to tackle. But, basically everything you said, holds a lot of weight Fox loves where the position they're at because when they don't have the NFL, they need to broadcast.
Boogity!
Go, Mikey!
Go, Mikey!
You know, as much as people criticize Darryl Waltrip, and yeah, he gets a little loud, and everyone knows he's a Dale Jr. homer. The guy's knowledgeable. He loves the sport. He's enthusiastic about it. You can't say that some of these guys that are on TNT or ESPN are enthusiastic about the sport they're commentating on. When Marty Reed was commentating for ESPN, he didn't even know what freaking lap it was. He's calling guys to win races, 5 laps before the thing's over. And then Andy Petrie's got to correct and say, hey, buddy, it was still one more lap to go.
Well, and, of course, we'll move on to our next point because of that. Of course, Marty Reed is gone, and for us IndyCar fans, there's one position that's gone. That is the play-by-play announcer for ABC for NASCAR on ESPN/ABC, whatever they fucking call it. But you've also got the second job because, of course, IMS Radio, and one of our good friends, Courtney Terrell, does a lot of work over there for the IMS Radio network. All of a sudden, we've lost Mike King as well.
Yeah, a lot of openings right now, and it'll be interesting to see. Maybe you can jump in for Marty Reed and start calling some IndyCar races.
I think I'm too English to do that. Oh, of course, though. Let's not forget the guy who now does Formula One coverage for the BBC, Ben Edwards. He basically got into, he got his big break commentating Champ Car back in the late 90s. And if you ever get the chance, go on YouTube and just Google Michigan 2000 final laps Ben Edwards. It is some of the best commentary I've ever heard in my life. But
Will, was that not the race with Andretti and Montoya racing to the finish when they had the Hanford device days?
yes.
Oh, yeah, classic race.
And I mean, this is the thing for IndyCar. I mean, I think Diffie has done a very good job of taking over from Bob Jenkins. I never actually liked Bob Jenkins for some strange reason. I mean, he made as many mistakes as Murray Walker, but he didn't have that charisma that I think Murray Walker had to get away with it. So we got rid of Bob Jenkins. I say we got rid of Bob Jenkins. Let's not forget, Bob Jenkins is in his own right a legend. And I have to say, I love everything he's ever done for the Speedway. I just think maybe that job and what was essentially Versus back in the time maybe wasn't for him. But then, of course, you have Lee Diffie, who now does the NBC stuff, and it works. But now we've got an opening over on NASCAR? IndyCar on ABC. I think Robin Miller, he put a couple of names out there. I'll read them out to you. Adam Alexander, Dave Despain, Brian Till, Bob Varsha, and Vince Welsh. I'll start with Adam Alexander, because that guy's shit. I mean, he does his stuff on TNT, it was shit. He does college football on Fox, which is mediocre at best.
Yeah, you nailed it. Continue.
I love Dave. I mean, Wind Tunnel on Speed, was one of my favorite shows to watch. And let's not forget, I have to find a way of watching American shows because I'm English and I live in England, therefore I don't get Speed. Even though by the way, there was a guy, Liam Jenkins. Liam, I know you're probably listening because you've got nothing better to do with your life. Hey, how you doing? He said that this is the kind of iRacing version of the Jay and Dan podcast. If you guys have never watched Fox Sports 1 because you're still stuck in your own ass about the fact that Speed, was so much better than Fox Sports and Motorsports, where's the Motorsports right now these days? I'll talk about that in a minute. But Jay and Dan essentially are the lead anchors for Fox Sports Live. And they used to do Sports Center on the Canadian version of ESPN, and apparently being compared to that, which imitation's the greatest form of flattery, but we'll move on. Days of Spain, Speed. I mean, he was very good on that show, Winton, and let's not forget how knowledgeable that guy is. Can he actually do commentary, though?
He's been out of the loop for a long time with commentary. I'm sure he could do it, and I'm sure he could do a fine job at it, but I really doubt that ABC would bring such an opinionated guy into the booth.
Well, let's go back to 2012. I believe it was a Mid-Ohio race where, due to the fact that NBC had the Olympics on, They decided ESPN took over the broadcasting duties. They put it on ABC, and you had all of the NBCSN crew except for one person, Robin Miller. Why?
Yep. Why? Because Robin Miller makes a living out of smashing the absolute crap out of ABC because he always calls them always bad coverage, which we all know is true, but they didn't want to hear it.
Always brilliant coverage. Hi, ABC, give me a job.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll maintain the always bad coverage, and Will, you can suck up because you'd like to have a real job in commentating.
Commentating the Indy 500 once, I could die happy the day after. Brian Till. Now, Brian Till, he did Long Beach this year. For those of you who don't know, when there's an F1 race on the same day as an IndyCar race, Lee Diffie doesn't do commentary, but basically to maintain this illusion that the NBCSN crew are actually at the track for the F1 race, even though they're in a studio in America, and they're watching it off a monitor, essentially. So they never put Lee Diffie on an IndyCar race on the same day as the F1 race because of the fact that they want you to believe that Lee Diffie's actually at the F1 race. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, Brian Till does the coverage then.
Have to be fair, though, NBC has done a better job of getting these guys to races this year on like speed because they were cheap and knew they were losing the Formula One coverage. They actually sent the guys to Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. They sent those guys out to Spain for preseason testing. Even though the race was in America last year in Texas, Speed still didn't send the crew 4 states over to cover the United States Grand Prix. So NBC will be there for that. So we got to give them some credit there. There are some times when they're actually there at the race.
Of course, if you live in the Indianapolis region and you want to watch a Monaco Grand Prix, the only way you can watch that is by getting Spanish TV coverage, muting it, then basically getting an online stream of BBC Radio 5 Live and putting the commentary over that, which is what we did at Indianapolis this year. Were you there?
Of course I was there. I was there with the Manifolds and Vanessa, and we were talking about iRacing forum drama and watching the race, and then going to the 500. And yeah, there's so much local pre-race coverage on every local channel that you can't find the Formula One race because NBC, in their wisdom, trying to get more coverage for Formula One, put the race on broadcast television, but with Indy's local channels covering the 500, it kind of, trampled over that. So we had to go online and go to the Spanish channel for coverage.
That's the one thing that would piss me off about living in America. The fact that things get preempted for no apparent reason. Of course, I say no apparent reason. This is Indy, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
When I was a kid, the Milwaukee race, traditionally was after the 500, was trampled over every single year by some marathon on our local Cleveland channel, and I never saw that race for years because they never would replay it. This was pre-internet days. If you didn't see it live on TV, you were never going to see it.
Can I actually ask you a question on that?
Sure.
Milwaukee being moved to essentially what IndyCar is billing as its chase for the championship. Those last 3 races, Milwaukee, Sonoma, Auto Club. Is it Milwaukee?
Yes.
No, yeah. Milwaukee, Sonoma, Auto Club. How do you feel about Milwaukee being moved so late into the season?
I mean, at some point, like a lot of motorsports, the traditional things have been kind of tossed aside to try to liven things up. I mean, it's a track where you're going to have a lot of close racing near the end of the season. It could really shake things up if you got a close championship battle. So I don't see anything wrong with having it there.
We've had some pretty weird comments on our YouTube page, by the way. Is mayonnaise an instrument? An instrument to what?
Yes, Will Roberts, please elaborate. And then I've also got a tweet from SJoy29. She says she likes the guy with the mouth, which I'm assuming is you, Will, because it's definitely not me.
Sweetie, so you don't know what I can do with that mouth.
You do have a fan out there, buddy.
I do. Is she female?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't know what I can do with that mouth. Moving on.
Hey, don't be crossing those, censorship lines.
Yeah, sorry, iTunes. Please don't block us. But let's get back onto the topic that we were originally on. So the last couple, Brian Till did the Long Beach cover this year. I mean, he's a pretty good commentator. And was he the guy who did the 2005 Indy 500? Because there's that gap between Paul Page and Marty Reed coming along. Was Brian the guy who did it then?
I can't say with certainty. I know that Brian has covered a lot of Grand Am races on the Speed Channel and done pit work and stuff. He would, of all the names you named, I would think he would probably be on the top of my board.
Well,
if
then,
not Will Vincent.
Yeah, then after that we've got Bob Varsha. Now, I'm going to get a lot of stick for this. Go on.
Yeah, I know you're going. I'll be positive first. Bob could do an excellent job. He's covered IndyCar races for, years, covered Formula One for years, very knowledgeable, gets involved in the sport, knows what he's talking about, sounds enthusiastic about it. Bob Varsha would be a great choice, but you, on the other hand, have a different opinion on that, I know.
I do, and this is IndyCar trying to branch out worldwide. Let's not forget, we've got a lot of Brazilian drivers. We've got a lot of European drivers in IndyCar right now. I don't think Bob Varsha is the voice who can portray that to the masses. Bob Varsha would work great on NASCAR. He'd work great on localized coverage of Formula One. I don't think he would work on an international broadcast for IndyCar. Just because of, Bob Varsha is a fucking legend. He's right there in the same category, in my opinion, as the likes of Murray Walker and Paul Page, who are two of my favourite commentators of all time. But I don't think he's the voice of the Indy 500. And then we've got Vince Welsh as well, which I just started laughing at when I read that.
Yeah, I think Robin was grasping for straws there.
I mean, he might as well just put fucking Will Vincent on the list when he put Vince Welsh.
I'm telling you, Will, you got to send some of your GlacierTV commentate, races to some of the higher ups, and you never know. I mean, the off season's 5 more months? You got a shot at it.
Well, yeah, I need to get my green card, so that means I need to talk to my good friend John. But I mean, as far as that goes, though, would IndyCar as a fan base accept a British commentator? That's the thing. In the same way that I just talked about Bob Varsha, in my opinion, not being accepted in places like Brazil and Europe, would an English commentator go down with America? Let's not forget that a lot of the races and the key races are in the Midwest.
Yeah, that's true, but the guy's passionate enough about the sport and can prove that, he's there because he likes it and, he wants to promote it. I think he'll be generally accepted. I mean, you got two British guys with David Hobbs and Steve Matchett working on Formula One coverage. People absolutely in America love those guys. And
well, the women.
No, not the women.
The women. No, shut up. As far as women go, they love American accents so much. I'm guessing if the man turns it up loud enough, the woman's in the bedroom rubbing themselves off because it's an English accent.
No. So you're doing it again. Crossing that line.
I don't give two shits, to be fair. Oh, we've got a tweet. No, that's me. Are we actually gonna do a race today, or should we just do it next week? I've had lots of vodka. You've had some vodka. Of course.
I got a response to your can do things. You're talented with your mouth and everything. He says that you have no idea what she can do with hers, LOL. And then she hashtags it popsicles, smiley face.
Game on. By the way,
sorry, I had to read that one.
Apparently Todd Harris did the 2005 Indy 500 season. And of course that was back in the days when ESPN had the entirety of IndyCar. And I'm thinking with NBCSN getting NBC getting NASCAR, and then of course them also getting, I believe they got the nationwide coverage as well now.
I'm not sure exactly where
it's kind of fucked up what's happening in 2014.
I thought Fox took over the entire nationwide series, but I can't say that for sure. I don't remember. I'm not that smart.
But I mean, with NBC getting at least a Sprint Cup coverage, I think that there's a hole there because you don't want to show NASCAR on one channel and IndyCar on the other, and I think that's the reason why IndyCar finished their season on Labor Day weekend.
I'm sorry, I was reading Twitter. Say it again.
I was saying that's the reason why IndyCar has ended the season on Labor Day weekend, because of the fact they don't want to have that many clashes late on in the season with NASCAR when it's on the same network, essentially.
Yeah, pretty good idea, because I think it's been proven that you can't go head-to-head with NASCAR. Just like NASCAR should learn, you can't go head-to-head with the NFL. John Porzik has been put to sleep by our racing coverage. We're going to have to lighten things up a little bit for our last 15 minutes.
Shall I tell you another story?
Sure.
This is a story of
anyway, so you might as well.
This is a story of the unopenable vodka bottle. Now, I don't know how it is in fact, I know how it is in... Where did I go to? What store did you take me to? It wasn't a Walmart.
It was... No, we don't have them in Ohio. Let me think. Shoot, they sponsor Penske. Oh, Meyer.
Meyer. So you took me to a Meyer. And you know at Meyer how, when it comes to the alcohol, you just have the alcohol down the shelf, you pick it up, you take it, you rub it, or you take it to checkout, or you empty it out onto the floor and use it to make meth. In the UK, they're so scared about people stealing shit that they put the same kind of security tags that you have on the clothes that I was talking about earlier. But Tony Matinton just said, who cares? I'm going to bring him down in a moment. But as far as that goes, so we have security tags on the vodka bottles. Now, you guys have self-scan checkouts in the US, don't you?
Correct.
So basically, you buy your shit and then you pay for it and you go.
Correct.
Do they check your ID when you do that?
Yes, the machines are programmed that if you buy an age-restricted item, somebody who oversees the different registers has to come check your ID, punch your age into the system, then it'll allow you to continue scanning the rest of your items.
Right, we have the same thing over here, except because of the fact that all the alcohol is, got a security tag on it anyway, they're also supposed to take the security tag off the vodka before they give it back to you. Except this guy didn't do it. So I naturally expect these days people to take the tag off and whatever. So I bag my stuff, walk out the store, go home, put my stuff on the counter, and realise that the security tag's still on my vodka. And you cannot actually take the tag off unless you're going to actually smash the top of the bottle off. And let's not forget, this is the UK equivalent of Walmart. Tesco, you tried going to the US and you failed miserably, but they earn $1 out of $8 in the US is spent in Tesco.
Wow.
So I called him up and it's like, yeah, okay, you can go and get this sorted out at any sort. And then this guy tries telling me that you can't exchange it because of the fact that this one's got a tag on it and he doesn't know whether or not I've stolen it or not. So I had this huge argument. Then I called their customer service people up, put them on the phone. The guy then thinks that I called up a fake person from customer service to speak to them, even though it's got their customer service fucking number on it.
Wow, he really didn't want to help you out, did he?
No, I think we should bring a lawyer onto this. I'm going to bring my good friend Barry. Barry, because I've concealed your name, what would you say would be the case in this?
Are you seriously just rambling for this entire hour, Will? Come on, man.
This is what it is.
It's like,
by the way,
let's talk about who's going to commentate IndyCar races for half an hour. Do you still have any viewers left?
Wait, let me check. We have 9.
Yeah. I'm shocked. They must have fallen asleep at their desks and forgot to close the window or something.
All 9 of you, God bless every one of you, especially SJoy29, who sent me 3 tweets because apparently she has nothing else better to do but continue to listen to us, up to and including 6 minutes ago.
She loves the black Englishman. I shouldn't have said black. Shit!
Can we talk about who we think that might be? Who from the IndyCar series wants to pull a prank on Will Vincent?
Well, we've got Ryan. We've got Matt. We've got John.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
Now your head's gonna be racing until you can figure this out, Will.
But we'll move swiftly on. We had other shit. Oh, we were going to talk about this thing that I saw. This is from the US. And basically, some of my lecturers went to the US because we've got this deal where we kind of work with a load of universities in the States at the moment. They're trying to get us a deal so I can go over do my PhD in Auburn. But they got this thing in this minibar where items that are removed for longer than 45 seconds will be charged directly into your guest account. And this is at the Red Rock Casino Resorts Bar, which I believe is in Las Vegas. Figure that one out, Dave.
That's gonna make my head hurt.
So the deal is, if you take something out the fridge, you think about drinking it, but then put it back in, they're still going to charge you.
Well, that you got to quickly, move the stuff in and out. Dump that good stuff in, fill it up with water, and throw it back in the minibar.
They also say that placing other items within the minibar may also incur other charges to your account. Are they saying they're going to charge you for chilling your products?
Now, how are they? All right, you say you steal a vodka bottle, you fill it back up with water, and you seal it up, and you put it back in there. Who's really going to check? Put it in the back. No one will notice. Some alcoholic 5 weeks from now is going to be chugging through all the vodka bottles. He's going to need the water anyway. It's a win-win.
I'll tell you another story. Back when I was, a certain age, because you guys won't know how you had to be to drink in the UK. Anyway, we had IT class, and our IT class was incredibly boring. So rather than actually do work, we basically drunk. And our school actually had this policy where we had to have full water bottles before every single lesson. So we had to have a full bottle of water, and the teacher could inspect our water bottles, make sure that we had full bottles. This whole idea of keeping ourselves hydrated, drink 2 liters of water a day, whatever. So 2 liters, by the way, is half a gallon. So essentially, what happened one day is that one girl decided that she could steal her parents' alcohol. So she bought in about 2 liters of vodka, shared it between 4 of us, and we drank a half liter of vodka in a 2-hour IT lesson.
Ah, very nice. Very smart girl, I see.
But then our IT teacher, I mean, who's going to be skanky enough to want to drink from someone else's water bottles, the first thing. But she wanted to, basically, she said, oh, I my mouth's really dry, can I have some of your water? The awkward moment when you have to try and tell your teacher, no, you can't have some of my water because you got vodka in there.
Well, that's the kind of thing you're going to run into when you're sneaking vodka into class.
Well, we got away with it. This is the same school, by the way, that tried charging me for my A-levels, thinking that I was going to fail because I went on... Yeah, long story. I'll tell you that another day. By the way, next week, we're going to start the Team Afterburn Diaries. Now, Dave and John, this is one thing that you guys have always wanted to hear. The history of Team Afterburn.
Yawn.
Yeah.
It's a soap opera, folks. So Vanessa would be very interested in hearing that, I'm sure.
I'm going to bring in another guy as well. He's been sat here for 53 minutes now. Randy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty bad considering I now rank lower than IndyCar commentators and water bottles filled with alcohol.
It's nothing personal, buddy.
So, what do you actually want to talk to me about?
I don't know, I just figured I'd come on and bullshit and be my usual smart-ass self, make everything more entertaining, but I got 7 minutes to pull this thing out of the IndyCar commentator gutter, so...
I'll tell you what.
Figure something to spice this up.
Hey,
yeah.
if you can get 15 viewers to watch by the time of now and the end of this podcast, we'll keep you on.
We've got 7 minutes. We've still got to interview Kimy Reikonen. So I think that you're gonna have to call Kimy up very quickly, Dave.
Yeah, well, I know you got his number. Why don't you dial him up? And then we're supposed to have Nefri Ogg, lawnmower racer and comedian, on the show, but maybe he had one too many Coors Lights and he forgot about us. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, yeah, this is 1 minute.
Next Coors Light he drinks is going to be his last.
The real Coors Light guy is Randy. Unfortunately, Randy's not here. He's got his sub-panel guy with him. I don't know who you are, but how you doing?
Welcome, viewer.
He's not here either. Jesus.
Fantastic.
Fucking hell.
Boy,
This
This
podcast
is one
really is
effi-
Crane Crash, isn't it?
One efficient machine this Wil and Dave show is today.
Don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes. We basically upload this to iTunes as soon as we're kind of done here because we've got nothing better to do with our lives.
oh my God, we're up to 12.
What? So,
Look
wait,
what happens when you drop me in.
I think I got Kimy on the phone. If Dave, you want to talk to him?
Kimy, can you hear me?
Yes, what do you want?
Kimy, we really appreciate you joining our very small Wil and Dave podcast. What brought you to us?
Well, you know that every time I race, there's always these people saying, hey, you know, in Finland they have this stream company called GlacierTV, and the guy who does this is English. His name is Wil, so I randomly last week I decided to go to YouTube, and he says to me, oh, look at this, there's now Wil and Dave Podcast. So I thought, you know, this guy does a lot for Finnish community, helps our prosperity, so maybe I go on Wil and Dave Podcast as well.
I have to say, Kimy, quite an honor to talk to you. I know that your time is limited, so I'll just keep it to one or two questions. Have to ask you, how fast did you drive out of the track at Abu Dhabi in your rental car after you decided to wreck the car on purpose on lap 1?
Well, you know, with the, the race itself, you know, Lotus, they've been pissing me off for a fucking week. They say, you know, we're gonna pay you, then they decide, no, we're not gonna pay you. Then they say, okay, we're paying on vodka, and then the vodka doesn't arrive. So, you know, I decided that it's a good idea maybe to go to, you know, to crash into one of the HRTs, because no one cares about them anyway. So after a race, I go and I get into a rental car and I say, hey, look at this, Sebastian, I can still drive faster than you, and I'm in fucking rental car. You and your stupid, pathetic Red Bull machine with your little finger like you like sticking up your anus.
Well, that's not quite what I was expecting, but we appreciate the honesty, Kimy. Wil, do you have any questions for Mr. Reikonen?
Yeah, Kimy, I'm thinking back to your interview that you had with Martin Brundle back in Brazil. I think it was 2006 when Michael Schumacher decided to finally leave the first time. And you talked about how you had a shit. Do you have a shit every race before you go to the green flag? Well, you know, it's if I maybe go take shit before the race, it makes me, of course, maybe a little bit lighter. But the more important thing is that because every time I finish race, Sebastian, he likes to come and slap me on the ass.
Hey, Kimy, we got to keep it clean. You know, kids could be listening. I hate to say it, but maybe skip the rest of that story.
Yes. You know what I'm doing. But he slaps me on the ass, and it's like, it's a sort of friendship thing that these people do. But if I take a shit before the race, if I don't take shit before the race, I often have to do once in my car. And when I don't want him to slap my ass, and him saying to me, Kimy, why do you decide to shit in your pants? Are you so slow that you cannot wait until after the race?
Kimy, we really appreciate your honesty. Thanks for joining the Wil and Dave podcast today. Any parting words for us?
Well, yeah, you know, I want to say I look forward to driving Ferrari next year, but also, you know, to all the Americans who are watching who think that I couldn't do a good job in NASCAR, the only reason I don't want to do a NASCAR is because you don't have good vodka over here, and you don't know what Magnum ice creams are. And let's be honest, you know, all the people that you have in America are fucking, especially in NASCAR, they all fucking redneck, and every time I go to a trailer area, I see brother sleeping with sister. So, you know, what's that supposed to mean?
We can understand your confusion, Kimy. Thanks for your time.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad you had Mike Larson on the show. Thanks, guys.
Will, weren't we going to dial up Nefri since he doesn't seem to want to call us? Maybe we have to call him.
We're gonna have to do this in overtime because we've only got 1 minute left of the standard show. I know. I mean,
Overtime, YOLO.
Overtime.
No, YOLO will never be used on the show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Nefri fell asleep after the third mention of Robin Miller.
So, okay, this is what we're going to have to do, because let's not forget, we've got to get this onto ETV as well. We've got a slot with ETV, which is going to start in a couple of weeks' time. So what we've got to essentially do is find a way of stopping the broadcast and starting the broadcast again to go into overtime. So if you're watching us on YouTube and you're watching us either live or you're watching us on demand, then stay right here. Nothing's going to change. If you're watching to us on YouTube, you'll find it on a separate link on the Wil and Dave Overtime Show. But you know what this means, Dave? We've got to start playing that porn music again.
Yeah, let's bring the funk and the noise, buddy.
So there we are. This is the first hour of the Wil and Dave Podcast. This will be in our second episode. Don't forget, use the hashtag Wil and Dave. That is WILNDAVE. The rest of the links for finding us are on the bottom of your screen. Also available on iTunes. Leave us a review. Tell us how shit we are. Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We don't figure this stuff out until about a minute before we start the broadcast. So we'll do that next week. And what else are we going to do next week, Dave? Of course, we've got 16 to talk about. We're going to get Chris Overland over here because he's got so much swag. What else?
We're going to try to make a V8 supercar race go official in the middle of the afternoon in America.
Yes! Where are the V8s next week?
The V8s, if I had any good internet, I would know. Oh, Road Atlanta, 45 laps.
Jesus, 45 laps!
We should run the V8 tonight. They're at Orem.
I know.
Park.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. Look at, there's 8 of you right now.
Join it!
Join it right now. 15 minutes, guys.
Okay, so this is hour 1 of the Wil and Dave Podcast. It is now over. Thank you. Goodbye!
Thank you.
Attention,
So, Will,
iRacing.
I have a question.
Whoa. Can you give me like 4 seconds?
No.
So, no, this is overtime. We're in overtime now. Go.
Well, people already know that. You just said that.
What? Do we have to do another coin flip or something? Figure
Yeah.
out who gets the ball first?
This is the heads in case you can't remember it out of your arm. This is the tails once again. You're the receiving team. What kind of side do you want to choose?
What is this, a horse race?
I'm pretty sure that if it comes down to who's going to talk over who, Will Vincent's going to win. The coin flip is kind of irrelevant at that point.
Agreed. That's a lawyer talking for you.
Yeah,
So-
then we just pocket the coin.
We're in overtime. So, we've got a lot of stuff that we still need to talk. I've got a call, Nefri. Is that right?
Yeah, he apparently claimed he was going to join us, or at least that's what you said. Then we never heard from him, so you gotta dial him up, see what's up.
Well, yeah. Of course, to do that, I've got to load up my magical calling up software, known as Skype.
Will we be able to hear it?
I need to figure out if I still got his phone number. That's the thing. I mean, being a redneck and being on Sprint, he probably doesn't have any cell network.
But he could have run the phone over with the tractor.
True.
No, he's
Could have
got one
fallen
of
out of
those.
his pocket.
He's got one of those the cans with the string tied to another can.
I thought for sure you were gonna say he had one of those indestructible cell phones.
I thought he just owned a black person to run messages.
Oh,
Oh, you
That's against the
Yeah,
iTunes
no
over conditions.
racism.
there goes that iTunes thing.
Yeah.
Who is this guy anyway?
Basically, this is a guy that I tried setting up a Sports Car Weekly podcast with, like, about 6 months ago. And the guy couldn't even get through one fucking episode before he fucked it up.
Well, you were
What did
probably
I
talking
fuck
about
up?
Robin Miller the whole time.
What did I fuck up?
All right, we got 2 signed up for the V8 race so far at Orem Park.
What did I fuck
I
up?
think
David?
I've got his number, by the way. I'm going to try and call him in a moment. And that's me trying to not actually tell his number out, because that would be retarded. I tell you what, I'm going to mute you guys for one moment. In fact, no, I'm going to call him up, and if he comes through, you can hear the questions, you can't hear the answers.
All right.
It's ringing.
This is just going to work fantastically well.
I'm going to get into so much shit later on.
When you talk, we can hear the ringing. So maybe if you keep the mic open, we can hear him.
Well, what I can do, I can do this.
Are you and Nefri going to be sharing the same microphone?
Essentially, yeah. It's going to
Sounds kinda
voicemail.
romantic.
Your call.
It didn't get through. And
Didn't go
I couldn't like leave a voicemail because you guys would hear what the voicemail was. Should I try and call him again, but like mute it on the stream as soon as it gets through to the voicemail, so I miss the number out? I'm gonna do that.
You could try calling like 4 or 5 more times. That could be entertaining.
You never know. It might work.
You know what? Leave a voicemail, so maybe if he doesn't recognize the number, he'll call you back because he knows who you are.
Well, yeah. But this is Nefriarg, and we've got a couple of sound clips. You can probably try and fake an interview if it doesn't work.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. Have you heard these sound clips yet?
Yeah, they're pretty
Well, these record. We'll
Unfortunately-
bring Randy into this in a minute.
good. You have better knowledge on those.
Your call
So
has been
just
forwarded to.
Okay, it actually is going through to voicemail, so I've had to turn it off.
Press 1 for more options.
Hi, this is Wil from the Wil and Dave Podcast. I was hoping to speak to Nefriarg, however, I haven't been able to get through to you. Now, I know you're probably busy lawn mowing racing or something right now, but if you can give me a call back, my number... Call me back and we'll try and sort something out. Talk to you later. Bye. So,
God, I hope that's actually your number.
did you actually hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna have to bleep that out on the podcast.
that could be interesting. I'll tell you
Oh,
what, we
that's
haven't
just
used the
fantastic.
soundboard really today, have we?
Yeah,
you
that's why we
haven't.
kept trying
What do
to
you
get-
mean?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
gross.
what do you
That
mean?
sounds
We've
dirty
talked
shit,
about Robin
man.
Miller for 8 hours in a row, not do anything entertaining.
Yeah, you
what
could
do you
have at
mean
least
we?
you could have at least played. I'm fat and my knees hurt.
I actually haven't got that one. I've only got the bit before that.
Can we do
Attention
attention
iRacing.
iRacing? Because I kind of want to talk about the new tire model.
iRacing.
Okay, this is now time for the impromptu attention iRacing segment. Shut up.
Attention iRacing.
Talk.
Hulk.
So, all right, we were talking about this before the show started. iRacing started off with a new tire model that was supposedly going to accurately represent how a real-world NASCAR tire would perform. We've seen so many different iterations now that do we think they're still going for the accuracy part, or are they just trying to now cover their bases and get it back to where the cars are fun to drive, accuracy be damned?
I think it's got to be a little of both, because I think the model currently is pretty inaccurate, especially like on sports cars or HPD. You got the HPD that has the most downforce and grip of any car in the series, but you can turn the wheel a little too much going 40 miles an hour and a car kicks out and spins out. on
That
you.
car drives like shit. Let's be honest.
There's no way
So
that's realistic.
It begs the question then that if we're not going to be going for hardcore realism with the tire model at this point, why don't we revert back to the older tire model for certain cars? All of us here are IndyCar guys, or most of us are IndyCar guys. So what would be the harm in doing that?
Nothing. Dave, talk for 90 seconds.
Oh boy, this is going to be hard to fill 90 seconds, but, honestly, I don't see any harm in reverting back in certain cases. If most of the, community is for it, then why not? I mean, I think it's been shown that the racing had a lot more strategy, tire management, those kind of things going on in the old tire model on the IndyCar. It wasn't just, get fuel and go. You had to change tires. You could have a caution with 15 laps to go, and sometimes making that pit stop and getting tires could win you a race. Like 2 years ago, in the strength of field race at Iowa, I was running 6th out of like 20. I did not have a race-winning setup by any means, but I pitted for tires with 8 laps to go, and I charged through the field past guys like Sean Stroud, Tim Doyle, Young O, and came within half a car length of winning a strength of field race against guys that all had old tires. So even new tires can make such a big difference, make a bozo like me look like a hero for a couple seconds. So, I mean, in the Radical, I believe, John, that they referred back to an older tire model, correct?
Yeah, they did.
I think that's true. And so, I mean, I'm just wondering if iRacing would go for something like that, or if they would view it as sort of like an admission that something they've been working on for such a long time isn't necessarily working.
Right, this is the issue. I think that the issue of iRacing, and this is with the greatest respect in the world, I think the issue of iRacing is that they haven't got the manpower to be able to develop a tyre for each car. Now, you cannot expect to take off a Goodyear tyre from a NASCAR and put it onto an IndyCar. Just look at the 2008, Indy 400 thing that they had in the NASCAR. The same way that you can't take a Formula 1 tyre and put it onto a Corvette. You have to have one tyre per car. And with one tyre per car, you've got to essentially on iRacing create about 20 different tyre models. Now, some of that, is going to be transferable. From a Corvette to a Ford GT, from Ford GT to a Kia to a Cadillac, that works. But then you've got to have a separate tyre for the NASCAR, a separate tyre for the IndyCar, a separate tyre for the F1 car, a separate tyre for the slow, Miatas and shit like that. Then a separate tyre for things like the sprint car. All of a sudden, you've got to have, a number of different tyre models. And I think the one-glove-fits-all approach, which has been used previously, especially on the NTM V4, simply didn't work.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to take a step backwards to take 2 steps forward. And in the IndyCar's case, that might be a good way to do it. The racing has been better in the past, and maybe take a step back. We can run an older tire model with the newer physics, while IndyCar on iRacing gets developed further, and then maybe once they get it where they want it to be, they can roll that out, and we can all improve.
I also think that a change like that would be really beneficial in terms of participation for the IndyCar series, because right now it is probably unique among all of the series in iRacing that it's so dependent on teams and what team you have and who's building what setups. And so I think if there's sort of another reset moment where you have new physics and new things to figure out, it might actually bring more guys back to that series who have been sitting out for a while now. Because
guys, shut
let's
up.
face it,
Can we come back to this in a minute? This is important. I've just received... I never knew that he's actually going to be able to send text messages, but Nefriarg has just asked me to call him back, so I'm going to call him back right now. I'll put it so that you can hear him. You might be able to hear me.
Sign up for that V8
Anyone
race.
who joins for the V8 race, I will give you
We're up to 7. We're up to 7.
we need one more person.
Matt Cook, if you're listening, get on there. Hey, Jim Swinbanks in Australia.
So what are you
is
wearing?
up right now on
Hey,
iRacing. Why
is that
he not signed
Nefri?
up for this?
Give me 1
Somebody
minute.
send him a...
What are you wearing?
Well, hey, Nefri, I heard that you were thinking about running these Indy cars again.
I can't get out of the IndyCar, Will. I mean, well, you know me well enough, man. If I'm not in a lawnmower, I'm in my sim racing chair with my fire suit on.
Now, of course, we can talk about sim racing, but we've got to talk about your lawnmowing and stuff as well. You've had a pretty competitive 2013 season. Take us through it.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, if I'm on a lawnmower, I'm running up front, and the difference between me and a lot of other people you see that are quote-unquote lawnmower races is I always have the blades turning. If I'm out there, I'm cutting grass.
Boys.
So, I'm out there winning these races, but at the same time, a lot of people getting their yards mowed. So it's been a good year for me on the lawnmower, and I just hope that translates to the Delora as we kick off the 16th Street racing season this Sunday.
Now, you won the first race of 16th Street, mainly because of the fact the track had a lot of grass, and you wanted to hug the inside line all you could. But are you looking forward more to racing in 16th Street, or are you looking forward more to meeting those fuzzy girls again?
Well, I don't know what the rating is on your program, so I can't talk too much about the fuzzy girls. But
You can say what you want.
There ain't nothing wrong with fuzzies girls, and I always have a good time being around them. And vodka's pretty good too, if I'm honest with you. But I tell you what, it's amazing to me when I look at the rosters of the drivers that run this 16th Street League. I don't know how in the hell I won that race last year. But you know the guys to run with. We got Niles Anders out of retirement. He's back running, and Tim Holgate's back, who finished, I believe, second in the championship last year. And Chris Cahill can't stop having babies, but he keeps running. And Joe Branch, Jim McClure, and Brian Simpson. It's an unbelievable team, and I'm just proud to be part of it.
Now, we'll talk about the fuzzy girls a little bit more in a moment. But I've heard this. You're an American. I'm not. I've heard this stuff that we've lost not one but two commentators as far as IndyCar commentary's gone over in the US. What the fuck are they going to do to replace that?
Well, they need to call you. I hate to say it, and certainly no offense to Marty Reed and some of the other guys that got broadcasting those IndyCar races, Will, but when I listen to Glacier TV and I listen to you call one of these 16th Street League races, I mean, hell, you make it more exciting than you know, a lot of people getting paid a heck of a lot of money to do the same. So I don't have any answers as to what they're going to do. I think we all agree there needs to be a change. And you know me, man, I ain't going to be happy until they get your ass in that seat.
Well, cheers. Final question, because I know you're very busy. You're just setting up to do qualifying for your lawnmower race. Now, those fuzzy girls, are they actually fuzzy, or is the name just a pseudonym for them?
Wait, no. I mean, I think as is. I'll be honest with you, Will. I'm happy that I did not grow up in the Big Bush generation, and while they are called Fuzzy's girls, there's not a lot of fuzz, if I may, that goes with that. And God bless them, you know, for the attention to detail, if you will, in that specific area, because I love it to death. I got to be honest with you though, when you drink enough of that Fuzzy's vodka, by the time you get to that point, hell, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But you know, like I said, I feel bad for those guys in the 70s and 80s that had to deal with the Big Bush, and I'm thankful that it's just that's not popular these days.
Well, good luck in your qualifying and good luck in 16th Street as well. Are we going to talk to you next week?
Sure as hell hope so, my man. I'll come on here anytime you want me to, Will. And I'll tell you what, this year, if I win that race, I'll have to figure out how to get on that Glacier TV broadcast. I was so surprised last year. I was completely unprepared to do my post-race interview.
I'll tell you what, I'll give the details to the Fuzzy Girls for you.
I appreciate it. Will Benson, I love you like fat kids love cake, my man.
No worries, I love you too, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate you.
See you later, bye. Well, something's frozen. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Will.
We couldn't hear you before though.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me. This is the thing. You could hear Nefri, but you couldn't hear me. So apparently the girls were fuzzier back in the 70s and 80s, but hey ho. So let's kind of, you know, should we talk about Nefri a little bit? Because let's not forget, Nefri won that first race last season.
This is true, but Will, we have the V8 Supercar race, which just went official with 8, so we're warming up for that.
So are we gonna carry on, or are we just gonna have to cut this?
We are going to talk and race at the same
Yeah, we can
time.
do both.
If you cannot talk and commentate at the same time, you are not a professional.
If you
Well,
can't
I'm not in
talk
this
and
race because I was
commentate-
too busy interviewing someone.
Okay, well then you're gonna come spectate and commentate the race.
Yes.
Oh, fuck this shit.
I'm not going to be able to run the whole race because I have to leave in 20 minutes or so, so I'm going to just go as hard as I can for 20 minutes because I know we're not going to finish 20
Is that what you say to your wife?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Just drive hard, Judson.
We have to... we have a birthday party to go to, so I wasn't expecting it to go this long today, which, you know, that's what she said.
In the shared folder.
So, let's go back to the conversation that we were having previously. What were we talking about? Tire model shit? Should we just move on from that?
Yeah, let's just talk about V8 supercars. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about any car commentator. That seems like what everyone wants to hear about.
Yeah, Will, what are your true opinions on, I don't know, some obscure IndyCar commentator that I don't even know and nobody cares about?
Fuck you, Paul's I'll tell you what, we've got Mr. California here. Hey, how you doing, Randy?
I'm doing pretty good. Or is it the other Randy?
Yeah, the other
you're not from
Randy.
California.
The other Randy.
Oh, I think both Randys are from California.
Yeah, the other
really?
Randy C from California.
How you doing, Randy? See?
I'm good. Since I just got back from Arizona, glad to be back to California.
California.
So, Randy, what do you think about Robin Miller?
Robin Miller? Everybody needs a little hate in this series, and I think he brings it.
Yep, he brings it, and he brings it strong.
Randy, what do you think about Nicole Briscoe?
Hot.
What do you think about Danica Patrick?
Boo.
Piece of crap.
Will, what do you think about Rusty Wallace as a commentator?
Yeah.
Hey, that hot rod's looking fast.
That hot rod!
That hot rod is flat fast.
What do you think about Bubba Wallace?
He likes to fight.
Well, let's kind of move away very quickly because I want to give you an update on my secret plans to come to America. Apparently, I might be able to get some part funding from American universities. So, Porzuk, get me that green card out, bitch.
They have no idea what they're getting themselves into.
Are you serious, Will? Some school might pay you to come here?
They might pay me some money. There's a couple of programs that I'm going for. One of them's a Brazilian program, which I might accidentally just, redivert my flight.
But hey. Fucking a Brazilian supermodel is not class credit.
You're giving Will too much credit there.
Yeah. I mean, for God's sake, I couldn't even pull a drunk girl at Indy.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest, she's Brazilian. All Will had to do was say he was Prince Charles, and she was all over that.
But I thought Prince Charles was what? Yeah, I tan easily, bitch. But I don't know. What? You've got like 15 seconds before you go to the grid. Am I actually going to commentate this?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Yes.
You're gonna commentate, and we're gonna keep moving on topic.
And since there's no video, you've got to have your radio mindset going.
That's right.
Oh. Do you remember when I should do it in that? Should I do it in the horse racing commentary that I was doing yesterday?
Yes.
Right, I'm
You
gonna
can
have
keep it up for
to
the whole race.
tug at my lips.
Will Scully.
So Dave, this girl that was texting you, is she actually a man?
No, she wasn't texting me. She was tweeting me, and she's a fellow Harvick fan, so that's why we follow each other on Twitter.
So.
And you know this is still going out on the YouTube, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Does she like English people?
Apparently, because she said she really liked you. She said the mouthy one, I think, she referred to you as.
I didn't know that wasn't Dan White. He was pretty mouthy.
I specifically asked, I said, which one, Dan or Will? And she said the Brit.
I'm just gonna say, these guys from Australia that are in this race are probably confused as fuck right now that this is official.
They're like, why is this official? Somebody's
They're
like,
going to be even more confused when
Do you think any of these guys done any practice?
I don't know, but John Porzuk starting in 7th.
This race brought to you by the Wil and Dave Podcast, live 4 p.m. Eastern, Fridays, only on GlacierTV.
Then we get the hashtag Wil and Dave.
We're about to go green, so I'm not going to say it right now.
Okay, waiting for
starting
lights to
third.
go off here at Oran Park. This lap is shooting
Green,
short.
green,
The lights out, and away we go. And they're coming down towards turn 1 for the first time. You see another car. They're going to go 3-1. It's coming down in turn 1 for the first time. And you see the yellow car going to come down to the inside. It's going to try and come down to the inside. Yeah, I'm not going to do commentary like that anymore. That was a good start, though. Oh, there's a car off. How many? Oh, what are these cars doing? What's that two? Who's that 2 car? Randy, what are you doing, you fucktard?
I'm passing people, that's what I'm doing. I know you're not used to doing that, so it's like a strange subject for you.
Well, okay, let's check in. Randy is currently... I haven't got IRTV up, so I don't know where the fuck you guys are. Randy's moved up a position. Porzuk is ahead of a 2 car.
That's me.
So, Porzuk is in the 7 car. You're ahead of Randy. Perry is in a Polaroid car. So, basically, you guys are doing shit.
Hey, I'm in 2nd.
Actually, John started 7th. He's worked his way up to 4th. So we'll see how he
worked. Do you mean worked or wrecked?
No, he worked his way up to 4th. It was legit. Randy followed him.
Well, just be glad there's no pit stops in this race, because then Porzuk won't have a chance to fuck his
Actually,
race
there
up.
might be.
How much fuel are we going to need, buddy?
Nobody tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I don't know, to be completely honest.
You're listening to Wil and Dave Overtime on GlacierTV.
I can still see the leader. This is unbelievable. This is my very first official V8 Supercar race.
Uh-oh, we got a little action between John and Randy. Randy got into the back of John. John
Now I'm going to have to block him.
No, that's against iRacing rules.
Oh, they're both off!
Hey, John, you don't need to block Randy if you're both going to go in the sand pit.
Oh, look at that. There comes the 4 car, and that's Paul Jones. Paul Jones is, of course, from the Land Down Under, and he's thinking, cool, blimey, mate, what the fuck are these guys doing?
It's like, what the hell are all these Americans doing in here?
Yeah. Once again, Americans proving they can't drive V8 supercars.
Hey, I'm still in 2nd.
For now.
Yeah, this guy's all over me.
Is it 17 ink points before you get disqualified?
Yes, sir.
Wow, so that's 1 ink point every 2 laps. And Dave Judson on the outside of 1 car. Angela Rett on the inside. They're going to be side by side as they come past the start finish line. Who's going to get the advantage? The next corner is going to be a left-hander. Can Dave Judson on the outside of the line break a little bit later and get that position back? from Angela Lorette? The answer's going to be yes, he will, because Lorette is a little bit sideways there as they come down into turn number 2. A little bit sideways once again. Lorette is on the radio thinking, what the fuck are you doing?
That was pure magic, buddy. I have no idea how that worked out.
So,
God, you break early for that corner.
so Dave, did you just let him pass because you didn't want to wreck him?
I'm recording my replay.
He's recording
This
his
is my
replay?
very first V8 supercar race too, so I gotta make something happen.
Tell him that we're streaming the audio of this live.
Nice.
We're streaming the audio live for the Wil and Dave Show on GlacierTV. You can check it out on the forum and read all about it.
Yeah, I've heard of you guys, Dave.
He's heard of us!
Woohoo!
Well, that's unfortunate.
He's not going to
That's
get $10.
unfortunate.
He didn't use the hashtag before the start of the race. So,
Well, I definitely suck on this track. Please don't film me.
so
It's only audio.
yeah, for now.
I don't think he knows the difference between audio and video.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Oh, Dave goes off.
Didn't brake hard enough there.
Porzuk is still circulating. Where's Shenworth? Shenworth, why the fuck are you so far down the field?
Porzuk braked stupid early for turn 2, and I was behind him, and I and I had to stay behind him, and I got ran in the back of by
It's the
someone else.
responsibility of the following guy.
I wasn't. I'm the one who got hit from behind. I didn't hit Porzuk.
Well, you misjudged Porzuk braking. That screwed you up.
I didn't hit Porzuk at all.
I'm not saying you hit him.
He did not.
Randy, are you
I mean, I
retard?
did the first 2 laps.
I'm up to 3
Which one?
inks already.
Are you retard?
Well, I mean, are you retarded? You should already know the answer to this
Well, I'm
question.
retarded, but are you retarded?
Yes, I am retarded. Isn't everyone retarded?
Well,
Aren't
yeah.
we all retarded?
In our own special ways.
iTunes, if you're listening, this is in jest, I promise.
Yes, it is.
This is in jest. I mean, we're pretty much serious, but still,
Sixth
it's a
place
jest.
just wrecked.
So, what are we actually going to talk about next week, Dave?
How well I'm doing in this race.
Well, you're going to leave halfway through it, for fuck's sake.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Because you got to go to a birthday party.
I
You
didn't
got
say
fucking
it.
friends and shit.
I didn't say like Trost.
Wait, what are friends?
I don't know. This guy apparently has friends. He gets invited to birthday parties. I remember every time I was at school when a birthday party came up, I sat there at the fucking doorstep every morning waiting for the fucking invitation to turn up. And every day it was just bills and adverts for, you know, breast pumps and shit like that.
Maybe people didn't like you, Will, which is hard to believe.
What do you mean, maybe?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Maybe because the Queen is your mom officially, and they were afraid of that.
Well, you do know the fact that I was adopted, so but the name on the birth certificate was I don't know, it's Nicola Bruma. She is from Nigeria. My mother is from Nigeria.
The Queen's from Nigeria?
You know that for sure?
I know my mother's name for sure. Her surname is Brima. She is from Nigeria. But I do not know my father's name. So for all you know, I could be half American.
Oh, this is true.
That's a good point, actually. If I don't know
Yes,
my
it
father's name, what is the case of me claiming to be half American?
You'd have to be able to find a way to prove it.
Do you think maybe
Because-
I could
because
fake
if
myself
you-
a green card?
If he was American, you could have a shot at getting citizenship without a green card, right, John?
Well, you know,
That's true.
If he was American, then wouldn't you basically be Obama's twin? A Nigerian and a
No,
American
he wasn't from
breeding us?
Nigeria. He was he?
Yo, this is the casual racism in the US. Just because someone's, I mean, you guys can't even be bothered to, you know, disseminate all the countries in Africa. You just say, yeah,
Hey,
he's
I did.
African. You don't think about Ghanaians
There's a lot
or
of countries
Nigerians
there,
or
man.
Kenyans.
Sorry.
No.
There's a lot of
He's from Africa. You say I am from Africa. What country you think I'm from?
Africa?
No, Africa, not a country.
Nope, we lost another one.
We lost Danny Collins.
What position was he in?
8th.
Oh.
Seven.
I'm actually doing better talking to you guys than I ever did in any practice session by myself.
Wow. This is slightly more boring than the race last week, though. I mean, the V8. Let's be honest. It is slightly easier to drive than only slightly than the 49er.
This is true.
It makes you guys feel better. I'm hounding down Porzuk right now.
He is.
By the way, Porzuk,
8 seconds behind.
How's Barry Boy
Yeah,
Brady
I'm gaining
doing?
about a second a lap.
How's what going, Will?
Barry Boy Brady doing?
Oh,
Great.
there's another ink point.
What about Gronkowski? Is he injured again yet?
Not yet.
How many games till he is injured again?
I think he'll make it to the end of the season. You never
Regular
know.
season or postseason?
Oh God!
Postseason.
Oh, shit! What's in the wall?
Been
We got-
without.
I don't know. His car must be junk.
No, actually, it's a V8 supercar, so it was junk to begin with.
All of a sudden, the car drives straight in a straight line. Jesus fucking Christ!
We really need
It
Jim
doesn't want to turn
Swinbanks here.
left.
He needs to help you commentate this race, Will.
Who does?
Jim Swinbanks.
Yeah, I love James. James is fucking awesome. Although he's been really ill.
He's one of the
know.
most mellow guys on iRacing, but he got really fired up the other night.
Yes, he
Shall I
did.
read you some tweets while you guys are racing?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Right, these are tweets from the other day. I can't actually find it because I've got rid of that page. I'm gonna have to. Need one of you guys talk for a couple of minutes?
Go ahead,
We're a
John.
little bit busy here.
I don't care.
We got our hands just a little bit full.
The guy commentating the race is like, "Hey, guys racing, can you talk for a few minutes? Thanks."
What
Thanks,
am I,
Marty
Marty Reed?
That's right. We're gonna watch the Indy 500 start together.
And if you're lucky, I might give you a secret little blowjob. How do I
don't be
find out
rude.
who follows me?
On Twitter?
Yeah, because I can't
Click
remember.
the-
Oh, no. I've got the link here already, haven't I?
Yeah.
Did you put it in this channel?
I think
Jesus
so.
Christ, we said a lot in here that I haven't read out. I'm going to read some of these random comments very quickly. Mention Danica. 1 minute. Drinking.
You were gonna drink anyway.
Yep.
You should check the tweets that went out to the Wil and Dave hashtag as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll read that out in a moment. This is more important.
What, drinking for Danica is more important?
Yeah,
I really
well,
wish you could
Danica's more
finish this
important.
race.
That's
Okay,
true.
these are a couple of the tweets. Okay. Dude, most of the things he... do I have to do this in an Australian accent?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. You know what? Did it? Those rolly eyes. That little fuck. That's not American. That's American. Okay, you know what did it? Those rolly eyes. The little fucker that wants to pretend like I'm an idiot, he can go and fuck himself. He'll look back on half the shit he says and writes now in 10 years' time and think, wow, I was a real fuckhead back then, huh? Dude, most of the things he says are just flat out wrong. I don't know where he gets his point of view from, but he's plain wrong. I think that guy's a little bit pissed. Oh, wait. He also thinks that the iRacing trolls are in force today. There we are. Oh, he's a real dickhead, man. I try and give him the benefit of the doubt more so than others would, but I've had enough of him. Does anyone know who he's talking about?
I have some ideas, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share them.
Is it
Hey,
Tony
he could be-
Gardner?
Yes,
talk-
it's Tony Gardner.
You could be talking about half the guys in iRacing.
Yeah. I actually
And-
think
and-
it's Ryan
and
Briscoe, because he's in New Zealand.
7/8 of them. 7/8 of them are in the IndyCar series.
Yeah. So we had some. This is, by the way, we're gonna cut this out from the iTunes podcast because it's kind of shit. Randy Shenworth, Wil and Dave Podcast. The rules are made up and the opinions don't matter. That's right. The opinions are like IndyCar the championship. Yeah, that's right. My name's Brian Barnhart. Woohoo!
That was a terrible lap.
I'm coming for you, Judson.
Giggity.
Oh,
have
I'm
to-
coming for you, Porzuk.
I'm gonna have to bail in a few minutes. I might purposely get incident points just to see if it'll actually kick me.
It will.
Okay.
Just ask Kevin O'Keefe.
Do you want to lose even more iRacing than you'd lose anyway? I mean, worst case scenario, you'll come 6th. You lose about 30 iRacing points. If you get disqualified, you come home 8th, therefore you lose a lot more in points.
No, it says you. Why would I go to 8th?
Because you'll be
Because
disqualified.
fuck you.
Yeah,
No,
that's why.
It leaves you wherever you would be. So if those guys are already out of the race,
Say that?
yeah,
Oh, so it's like NASCAR. It just stops timing and scoring.
yes.
Or as Josh Murch says, timing and scoring.
Oh, that almost ended in tears.
Yeah, hurry up and wreck so I can gain.
What, are you
another
talking
spot
about
when I
you
quit.
driving or Josh Murch commentating?
Yes.
I would guess that's both.
Yeah.
Forza, I'm not doing too bad considering it's my first race, huh?
No, you're doing well, man.
By the way, on a serious note, we had a rather nice tweet on the Facebook page. Tweet on the Facebook page and a rather nice message on the Facebook page, Dave.
Vincent,
There
you
you
might
go.
be retarded.
I
Go
am
ahead and read it.
retarded. Well, I've got messages. Oh, that was just Nefri. He's saying, how do I don't know how to call you back, man. My God, she's hot.
Ooh.
Dude, Nefri?
Samantha Ponder. Who the fuck's Samantha?
Who's that?
Samantha Ponder.
He sent you a message?
Christian Ponder's wife, by the look of it.
Oh, well, because he's a athlete, that's why he gets a hot girl.
Yeah. My God, she's hot.
Wait, Dave, you mean we're not athletes? I thought we're race car drivers.
How's that working out for you?
I thought being a fat white kid from Southern California was a sport.
Yeah, what's up?
Sumo?
I said Southern California, not Japan.
Same thing.
Close enough.
Konnichiwa!
Konnichiwa!
Shoot! Oh, there's another ink point. I didn't even try to get that. Oh boy, this poor Zoo character caught up to me pretty quick.
So, in the
Yeah,
middle of all this
Randy's catching
bullshit
me
that
pretty
you're
quick,
talking
too.
about, we did actually get a really nice message on Facebook, and this is from a guy called Elliot, who said that he stumbled upon the podcast. He's a huge fan of real and sim racing, and apparently my commentary. Why the fuck you like my commentary? I have no idea. But he'd love to race with you guys, but being blind, he wouldn't do so well. At least he has world-class commentary and a great podcast to keep us informed. Thank you very much for watching the Wil and Dave Podcast, Dave.
Thank you, buddy. We really appreciate that. In all seriousness, it's nice to have some people that enjoy our commentary and us acting like goofs.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially all we do. I mean, we've been on air technically for an hour and 35 minutes this week. I mean, the first hour was shit. This second hour was even shitter. But, I mean, we enjoy it. That's the thing.
Will,
Yeah,
so what are you doing with all your internet money that you're making from this?
Do we get internet money?
We're getting internet
You
money?
mean you guys aren't farming bitcoins?
Yeah, come on, man.
Well, we get
Somebody wanna explain
we
Bitcoins
get
to me? I'm a little
YouTube
out of the loop
advertising money, but I don't have access to that, so that just goes back into the big GlacierTV pot, and yeah.
How are
Yeah,
you getting advertising money?
Well, how else are
Essentially,
they going to get Riku Alatulu from the Singapore to the Finland meetup every year?
Ricky Alatulu trying to whack himself side by side in the battle for the race lead. I tried to get Tim Terry to do us a link, but he forgot about it.
I'm coming up in this Dave Judson character. I think I might wreck him.
Oh boy, buddy.
Checking in on the battle for third position on the racetrack right now between Dave Judson and John Paulzik as we're working ourselves right now on lap number 14 of 34 here at Oran Park. The track measures 1.62 miles in length. It has 12 corners, and let's not forget, it has itself a figure of 8 as well. Now, last time by, John Paulzik did a 1 minute 10.996. Compare that to Dave Judson's 1 minute 11.415. The gap
Man, you
on the
fucking
racetrack
slow.
right now is 1.6 seconds, but Paulzik is closing that in at about half a second a lap.
Randy had something to say about how slow we were. You care to repeat?
Did I go off track? No big deal, just a black flag.
There's one other guy who was taking the shit out of us earlier. Terry, why the fuck could you take the shit out of me?
What's that?
You were talking shit about me earlier. Why?
No, I wasn't.
Bullshit.
No, I wouldn't. That's the no I wasn't of guilt right there.
Yep.
No, I wasn't. Why am I on podcast?
Hey, no messing with Terry. I
We're
think
sorry, Terry.
whatever he said was clearly deserving.
For the
What
record,
did I
by the way,
say?
every time Terry comes onto this magical channel that we use, on this magical form of thing that we call the internet, he gets greeted the same way, don't you, Terry? Would like to demonstrate
do.
how you get greeted every time you come into TeamSpeak when I'm around.
Do it, Will.
No, it's Terry's job.
What?
It's Terry's
I think
job.
Terry might be a little bit busy right now too.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
he's
Terry's
racing.
racing.
You're gonna make me crash.
And working himself right now in the 6th position in this race because he's so shit, he can barely stay on the lead lap. Terry Martinson! As he gets a 1x.
I just got to complete half the lap so I can at least get a couple points.
Is Randy, Krosno, are you still here?
Yep.
So, Krosno, when I come to California next year, how do I say this nicely? How likely am I to be accepted in Californian society?
Oh, not bad, because I got you a hotel over there in Compton, Watson, of LA. So you'll fit right in. You'll be fine.
Yeah, the Motel 6 over there comes with a complimentary Glock and bulletproof vest.
By the way,
and
you just
hooker.
made Terry go off track again.
I was laughing.
Sorry, Terry.
Oh, almost got another ink point.
Terry, how
How many
many
are
ink
you at?
points do you have so far?
7.
You're not Terry, are you? Shut up.
Come on,
Fine,
Dave,
you
say
should-
10 more. I want to see you get to 17 and go poof right off the track.
Another one bites
Actually,
dust.
Will, you'll
Whoa!
you'll fit in good here in California, Will. Just don't bring those freaking capri pants, okay?
Whoa! I thought that, California's
Depending on what part
stylish.
of California.
Yeah, if
he
he's
goes
going to San
Francisco, then yeah, he can wear his freaking capris.
What, is there going to be like an Oakland Raiders fan as soon as I get to the airport? I say, whoa, your clothes are too trendy for me, fuck off.
No,
There
I'm
are
gonna say that
Oakland
you're
Raiders
gay.
fans.
Well,
Do you think Oakland is like half of California or
but
something?
that's what we're going to talk about, Dave. We're going to talk about all these chavs that wear fucking NFL hats and hoodies and have no idea what the team are.
That's next week, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next. Basically, there is
still
one
have
guy who's
17
wearing a
laps.
Steelers hat who didn't even know what a terrible towel was.
Who didn't know what a terrible towel was?
A guy wearing a Steelers hat.
Then
That
he's just
sums
a
it up.
loser. Yep. John, I keep screwing up, but you're not catching me.
I know. I'm just trying to finish. I haven't picked up an ink point yet.
Good for you,
I'll
man.
change that.
I tell you what,
You
though,
went
the
off
game,
at turn 3.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I did.
Oh, liar.
the Raiders game next year, we sold out because of all the chavs that never realised how bad the Raiders are. Who's going to go and try and support them? It was almost like all the people that disillusioned about the fact that the Jaguars might cause an upset against the 49ers. Look what happened there.
Well, you actually pronounced Jaguars with the correct spelling.
I said
Pronounced
Jaguars.
it with the correct spelling.
Yes.
What, you mean when we
'Cause if
say
it's spelled
Jaguars?
different, it would be- No, I mean when the fucking Jaguars went to the UK, and the UK proved that they are just as dumb as us in America.
Well, yeah. And
Jaguars.
And this weekend, and finally here on BBC News, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to play the San Francisco 49ers in American football. Now, this is football where
Don't
you
you mean
don't
handing?
actually use your foot, instead you use your hands. And they call out calls like 118, we hot.
I like your BBC voice.
Yeah, I actually prefer that to your regular voice.
Yeah, boy. Hey, Will, can you change that more often? That does sound more appealing.
Will, can you just not be yourself as often as possible?
And coming next on BBC Two, The Great British Bake Off. The time right now is 22:43. Coming up in between these broadcasts, the shipping report.
The shipping report?
Yeah. Right, okay,
What
you
is
know in
Dave?
America,
Don't
you
give up the
guys...
ship.
In America, you know
Don't give
you
a
guys
shit.
have like, on broadcast, you have to display like a signal call, so you show basically the logo of your TV station, and you do the call sign once every hour.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be as close to the hour as possible. In the UK, we have the pips. So basically, it's illegal to imitate. Literally, I cannot play it on this podcast because it's illegal for me to do so. But it's basically 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5 small pips and then one long pip, which signifies the changing from 1 hour to another, and it's essentially used, I mean, in the olden days, is to be able to synchronize your watch with Greenwich Mean Time. And this is our way of identifying our stations. We play the fucking pips.
Hold on.
Nice.
We got something developing here on track.
More thrilling commentary from the Wil and Dave Show.
Yeah, we've got Porzek getting run down by Chenoweth, so I think John's about ready to do another break.
Yeah, I'm just toast.
Oh, it gives him off down to the inside. The pass is going to be complete. How's that?
Come on, John. That could have been fun to watch. What the heck?
Hey, Paul's how's that right front tire again?
Right front tire, it's fine.
Hey, how's the left front tire?
Also fine. I'm not going fast enough to wear them out.
John, take the emergency brake off.
I've got the parachutes out actually.
He's got it in hybrid mode.
He's gonna go up there and get Judson too.
How many inks you got, Dave?
8.
Oh, come on, man. You can do better.
So, Dave, are you actually going to complete this race with 14 laps left to go? It's only 15 minutes.
I'm not sure. I'll have to give a call out to the wife and see if we can afford to be late.
Darling! Darling! Is it okay if we're 15 minutes late to the sex party? They won't start about us, will they?
Well, what I'm actually kind of curious about with Judson right now, how much fuel do you have left, Dave?
If he took a full tank, he should be fine.
Damn it, I was hoping he didn't.
Dave?
Hold on.
It's hitting an F4 button, for fuck's sake. It's not hard as long as you don't press the Alt key at the same time.
Alright, I'm gonna have to pull off.
Why?
I gotta leave in like 5 minutes, I just asked.
Alright, well, you still got 5 minutes to race.
Yeah,
is your wife home?
Yes, she's home.
Bring the wife to the podcast.
Right
I'll
now.
try to. What, right now?
Right now.
Right now.
Jenna! He won't come back. I gotta hold off this bum, Chenworth.
You could wreck him too, though.
No. You've got to get your wife to come. I'm not going to talk about her badly. I want to ask her some serious questions.
So you're going to change it to the Wil and Dave's Better Half podcast?
Yeah. Coming up next week, Dave Judson once again get himself wrapped around his wife's little finger.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I was about to say. Oh, down to the inside, tries to go Shenhua. He wasn't able to complete the pass. That pass is incomplete.
She's keeping hearing her me say that. Happy wife, happy life.
Oh, is she here?
Yeah, she's right here.
Can we get her on the mic?
Give her the headset.
Well, then I won't be able to hear the cars.
I don't care.
Shit anyway.
It's not as if you're going to finish the race, are you?
I want to hit you so bad after you said that.
You need to get more inks anyway, that'll help. Bye-bye.
Oh, that'll help.
There's 10.
17.
Right,
You got to
done.
get 17.
No, we're done.
Okay, can we get the wife on?
No.
Why
We have
not?
to leave. We have to leave.
Okay,
I
30
don't
seconds. I mean,
Oh,
your
man.
wife surely's used to 30-second stuff.
Oh, really?
Burn.
Bye.
And now he's butthurt.
Do you
And
think
so
I
now it's
pissed
just a
off
Wil
Dave?
Show.
Okay, it's not a Wil show because Dave's just pissed off. Anyone want Dave's position?
No,
I
just
don't
leave
think
the
anyone
Wil-
wants Dave's position.
Just leave it as the Wil and.
Yeah, the Wil and nothing.
It's the Wil and show.
The Wil and.
Well, we're close to 2 hours. Should we just make this a 2-hour podcast?
Yes.
We'll split it up into hour one. Hour one where we talk about nothing. Hour two where we talk about nothing.
Nothing.
I think that sounds good, Willie.
So, Randy, tell us a little bit about you living with Wil for what, 3 weeks next summer?
It's 10
No,
days.
no, I got enough points I can put him up in a hotel after one.
Whoa, you haven't said this to me yet. Jesus, I was going to teach your kids about the joys of punk rock and everything, but in that case...
Oh, man. I hadn't considered the fact that Randy's got young, impressionable children around.
Look. I'm not Floridian. I don't enjoy trailer parks.
Alaska thinks that Will's a rock star because of his look. So that'll be kind of entertaining.
What, because he's black?
Black with those, dregs and all.
Dregs? Did you say dregs?
Yeah, what are they called?
Dreads? Your
stuff,
age is showing, John. Mr.
this stuff
Crosno.
that looks like a mop.
Well, to be fair, Randy, when she
Oh,
goes
you mean
out
it's
into the
cute.
big bad world, what she'll realise is people who's black with dreadlocks generally are drug dealers.
Right.
They're either drug dealers or sim racing commentators.
Yeah.
Or will. Oh, they're not called dregs anymore?
No.
They're dreads with a D.
Oh, well, whatever.
How old are you? I didn't know they had sim racing rigs in nursing homes.
Oh! That's just wrong, dude.
That is going on the soundboard. By the way, do you Americans know what the word chav means?
Yes, we don't use it, but I know what it means.
What was the word?
Chav.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
I'll give you a definition if
dressed
you
like
really
a
like.
chav.
1 minute, I'll put on the BBC voice again.
No, use it in a sentence, not give the definition.
This chav was all like, bruh, if you don't give me your money right now, I is gonna scuzz ya.
Can you give us the country of origin?
The United Kingdom.
Can you give us the language of origin?
English.
Using English as a language of origin is like the biggest cop out in the world.
Okay.
Can you give us the Latin version?
The chav. The Oxford English Dictionary defines chav as an English... Oh, fuck. I fucked it up from the beginning. An informal British derogatory meaning a young, lower-class person who displays brash and loutish behaviour and wears real or imitation designer clothes.
So, Will Vincent?
You calling me a chav, bruv?
I just called
Bruv, are you
chav,
fucking
yeah.
calling me a fucking chav? You know what? If you call me a chav again, you want to say it to my face. If you say it to my face, I'm going to fuck you up.
You're a chav, Will.
Yo. Come over to England, get onto my face, and you try to say that to me, right?
Why would he go over to England when you want to come to America anyways?
I know, man.
I know
I could
logic is
rob
hard
him,
for you,
steal his
Chav.
passport, and come over. I mean, no one's going to tell, right?
Well, I mean, you do look like your typical lawyer.
Hey, I was wearing a suit today, alright?
You were wearing a suit?
Yeah.
Was it purple and did you have a big zebra hat on?
In a big, like a
Fucking
boa
hell, dude! By the way, I like to point out there is currently 4 people on the lead lap, and there's a guy on pit road right now.
I'm shocked I'm still on the lead lap. to be
Paul
honest.
Jones is 6 laps down. Terry Mattinson's coming onto pit road. We're gonna get to our in-race supporter, Terry Mattinson. Terry, what the fuck's happened?
I stuffed it.
Oh, God.
So
We're good.
To run through your top 10, we have Peter Barlow leading the way right now by 7.8 seconds
my God.
over Angela Lorette. Randy Shenworth is in 3rd position. John Paulzak
Not
in
for long.
4th.
Oh,
Terry
I got a
Mattinson
fucking
in
meatball.
5th, scored 1 lap down. Dave Judson is out of the race. Paul Jones out of the race. Danny Collins out of the race. And we only have 8 people, so I can't even give you a fucking top 10.
I almost just killed Randolph there.
Yeah,
no,
Randy,
no,
what
I
happened?
killed myself. I got loose going into the last corner and smacked the wall.
That's
I
the
got a
first time
meatball. I
you've
could
ever
probably
made
still drive.
anything loose, isn't it?
Yeah. So what? Just because my dick isn't so big, I cause people pain. Is that a bad thing?
Well, you know. We need to get Mertz on here.
We need to get Mertz on here? Why do we need a... No, I won't say it.
Just so I can humiliate someone else.
Why? Because I'm too hard to humiliate? Because I put up with it too well?
Oh, do you mean when you say hard, do you mean fat?
Wow.
Well, I don't think too fat to humiliate is proper English, and you should know that.
Well, you know, in Her Majesty's Oxford English Dictionary, fat people just get exterminated.
Yeah, no, you're from England where they came up with English. So just kind of make it up as you go.
And you come
You
from
just ma-
America,
you just-
where
you
you
just
took
come up
all
with
of our
something?
people as slaves.
We didn't take the Englishmen as slaves.
That's why I say my people.
This is a pretty big misunderstanding of the English language. You guys.
Why the fuck are there 3 people on the lead lap?
There's about to be 2.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens when Americans try to drive Australian cars on an
Pause
Australian
it.
track.
Don't wreck the leader.
Is that a code?
Don't wreck the leader. Do you understand this message?
10-4, come back.
is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?
Yes. I know what I'm doing.
Well, then why is Alonso faster than you? You know what you're doing.
Well, because you know that I wanted to make myself look as slow so I could go back to Ferrari, because I know like Fernando doesn't like having people who are faster than him in the team. So what if the idea is that I go to Ferrari thinking that he is a thinking that he is a slow driver, and then maybe in 1 year time I decide to win the championship when Ferrari have good car again.
I still think it's funny how they were talking about Alonso fighting for the championship. Yet every race, he's in 6th fighting with Hülkenberg.
Yeah, this is fucking US TV. What do you expect? This is Dave Hobbs, for fuck's sake.
I watched the BBC broadcast.
What, where they all are obliged to go, lights out and away we go! Yay!
Well, I mean, yeah.
Do you think I pissed Dave off? Do I need to call him and ask him if he's okay?
Wait, what did you say to him?
That he couldn't
I don't
last
need
more than
pissed
30
off.
seconds?
I think he'll be fine, Will.
You know who might be pissed off? His wife might be real pissed off about that.
I
Yeah.
might have to call her instead.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have her number yet.
Yet.
Come on, Will, you should be working that black magic of yours.
Giggity.
Half black.
Ah, I don't have Dave's fucking, I don't, that's gay. Sorry, iTunes, I'm not allowed to use homophobic references, I'm sorry.
Technically, gay has multiple meanings in the English dictionary.
Because
So.
gay
Good.
is happy and happy means gay.
But gay also means sucking dick.
Yeah, we've really gone downhill in like the last, hour of this podcast, haven't we?
I didn't realize we started on the top of a hill.
Robin Murray? Robin Miller.
Yeah, we need to bring this podcast back from the dead. We need to start talking about water bottles.
I don't have his number. I have someone else's number, but I don't think I should call him.
Who is it?
His name's Carrie.
Carrie? You said his name is Carrie. Oh, is it the Bettenhausen?
Yeah. Right.
Good old eye patch.
Now.
So that happened.
Be nice.
I
Right.
lied.
I think we on that bombshell we're gonna wrap it up here because let's be honest. How many laps you got left in this race?
4 laps.
4 laps, and
I'm trying to chase down Porzak.
we'll give you an
I got 4
update.
laps to make up a 1
Porzak
lap.
is shit. Chenworth is shit. Mattinson is shitter. Judson is out of the race, and that pretty much is all you need to know on commentary. This has been a Wil and Dave Podcast, episode 2. Yes, we went on for an extra hour, but who gives a shit? We'll cut it down to the first hour, and we'll put that one on iTunes. The second hour you don't even want to care about, so yeah, we'll probably delete some YouTube in about an hour anyway. If you want to keep in contact, use the hashtag Wil and Dave, because we can't spell, it's WILNDAVE. Twitter links are right there as well. We'll post the iTunes link if you want to subscribe to our podcast. In the meantime, we shall see you next week when we'll talk more about how much I love Robin Miller. We've got 35 seconds, guys. What we're going to say? Seems like we're not going to say anything. So next week we're going to talk about nothing once again. I've still got these stories about chavs that we're going to talk about. So that will fill at least 13 seconds. We'll also talk about 16th Street, a couple other things here and there.
And then that'll clear up the rest of the broadcast for 15 minutes of
Cialis
IndyCar commentators.
adverts and NASCAR. Shut up, I'm not even listening to you anymore. So we'll talk about that as well. Talk to you later. Bye.